Penguin Random House Audio presents The Four Horsemen, the discussion that sparked an atheist revolution. Written and read by Richard Dawkins, Daniel C. Dennett, Sam Harris, and Christopher Hitchens, with a foreword written and read by Stephen Fry.
For Hitch. Foreword by Stephen Fry. Do you believe in God? A question of little value. Which God? Ganesh, Osiris, Jove, Jehovah? Or one of the tens of thousands of animist gods worshipped every day around the globe? Oh, very well then, if you're going to get clever, any God. Do I believe in any God? Look, there's a creation, isn't there? Therefore, there must be a creator. Nothing comes from nothing. Something must have started it all. I'll overlook your reckless use of therefore and go along with you, out of interest, just to see where it gets us. Well then. Well then what? You've agreed there's a creator. Well, I haven't agreed, but I've come along with you to see where it's going. Who is this creator you have conjured up on the grounds that they must exist? Well, we can't say. And more important, who created this creator? That's just silly. But you've just told me that nothing comes from nothing, and that something must have started it all. Why am I not allowed to use this principle to wonder where your creator comes from? Well, you must admit that love and beauty can't be explained by science, that there's something other. We have all had heated, sophomoric, and ultimately futile conversations like this as students, quibbling and quarrelling earnestly about turtles all the way down regress and challenging each other to prove the unprovable long into the wine-fueled night. We have all listened to those of faith stating their position, first by adducing half-understood scientific thinking and discovery. Quantum physics itself shows that we can't be certain of anything, then dropping them contemptuously. Science doesn't have all the answers. It can't even explain what most of the universe is made of. Anyway, they're only theories. To this day, the no true Scotsman fallacy is alive and well. Buddhism has a lot to teach us, you know. It's been shown to have real psychological and cognitive value. You mean like those Buddhist monks who helped the Burmese army ethnically cleanse the Rohingya to the point of genocide? Oh, but they weren't proper Buddhists. Such scenes play out every day, and it is important that they should. The rounds of punch and counter-punch may get wearisome, aggressive, and tiresomely circular, but let us never forget that this is a big subject. And the claims made by theists, religionists, and believers are the most momentous claims there can be, about anything. You don't have to boast a PhD or have read Thomas à Kempis, the Quran, the Book of Mormon, and the teachings of Siddhartha, or indeed On the Origin of Species and Principia Mathematica, to be able to take part in such wrangling and disputation. But boy, isn't it wonderful when you can eavesdrop on four who have? It warms the heart, tickles the soul, and fires up the synapses. And that is exactly what this book allows us to do. Listen in on four people who have thought hard and fought hard, for they have been publicly battered and battled like few intellectuals in our time, without losing their wit, humour, and sense of proportion. So, who are they, these four musketeers of the mind? What do they want with us and the world? Why should we care? Let us meet them one by one. Sam Harris, Aramis, is a neuroscientist, moralist, author, and enthusiastic exponent of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a martial art most noted, I am told, for its close grappling and ferocious ground fighting. He is equally trained and proficient in forms of meditation that an Englishman of my caste finds incomprehensible and deeply embarrassing. I can't even say the word mindfulness without blushing. Harris's influential books, The End of Faith and Letter to a Christian Nation were followed by a later book and subsequent highly popular podcast series called Waking Up, which focus on his great interest in exploring how morality and spirituality can flourish outside religious teaching. Daniel Dennett, Athos, is a philosopher, perhaps the best-known philosopher alive. A few years ago, that would have been like calling someone the best-known fluid dynamicist alive, or the most famous coleopterist the world has ever seen. But these days, philosophy and its branches are hot. More people are choosing it as an undergraduate subject, it seems, than ever before. As a UC Berkeley alumni magazine headline neatly phrased it, "Philosophy's popularity soars. Devotees find it's more than an interesting path to poverty." Professor Dennett writes on the mind, evolutionary biology, free will, and much else besides. His book, Breaking the Spell, Religion as a Natural Phenomenon, caused plenty of fluttering in academic, intellectual, religious, and political dovecotes. His co-authorship with Asbjørn Steglich-Petersen of The Philosophical Lexicon has alone guaranteed him eternal glory. Like Einstein, Noah, and the Kennedys, Professor Dennett is a keen sailor. Richard Dawkins, D'Artagnan, is responsible for introducing evolutionary biology and Darwinism to generations. His books, The Selfish Gene and The Blind Watchmaker, never out of print, continue to inspire, inform, and amaze. As the first holder of Oxford University's Simonyi Professorship for the Public Understanding of Science, he acquired a worldwide reputation as a skeptic, passionate rationalist, proud atheist, and witty exposer of charlatanism and fakery couched in pseudoscientific language. In all that time, he has pursued an academic career as a leading ethologist and biologist. He gave our language the word meme, and in his work as a scientist has hugely expanded our understanding not just of the genotype, but of the whole evolutionary package that makes life, the phenotype. His Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science stands as a global cynosure for free thought. Christopher Hitchens, Porthos, was, and how it will always grieve me to have to use the past tense, a journalist, essayist, polemicist, contrarian, debater, political historian, author, and thinker. His preternaturally fluent articulacy, breadth of learning, extraordinary recall, diablerie, sauciness, and panache raised his mastery of debate to a level unmatched in his lifetime. We are fortunate that this child of the 1960s and 70s did at least make it into the YouTube era. Many of his coruscating flagellations of the dim-witted, malevolent, ill-informed, and unprepared live on in cyberspace, as well as in the pages of his many articles, essays, and books. Richard Dawkins sets the context of this meeting of the Horsemen very well indeed in his new contribution to this book, but it is worth recalling how the four had, between them, broken new ground in the English-speaking world, opening up debate everywhere, empowering humanism and secularism for a new generation, and giving voice to the always lurking and now growing suspicion that the worst aspects of religion, from faith-healing fakery to murderous martyrdom, could not be separated from the essential nature of religion itself. They did so with the publication of enormously influential books. Harris's The End of Faith, Dawkins's The God Delusion, Dennett's Breaking the Spell, and Hitchens's God is Not Great. These appeared against a millennial background of growing Christian evangelical fundamentalism in the United States and murderous jihadism in the Islamic world. The emperor had been parading about for centuries, and it was time someone pointed and reminded the world that he was naked. The response was, as might be imagined, intense. The four became media stars, to the extent that they were asked to comment and debate at all times and in all places. But a counter-reformation followed. Religionists of all
Sample complete. Ready to continue?